time travel, crazy adventures of a bloody dictator in the heart of Russia. All of it you will see in every house in the New Year's Eve in the classics movie, which is called Ivan Vasilyevich меняет профессию, or in English, Ivan Vasilyevich changes his job. My name is Inna Solovyova. I've been teaching foreign languages half of my life, maybe the best part of my life. And in today's movie, I'm going to introduce you to the three top quotations of the eternal Russian classics, which is broadcast in every house on the New Year's Eve. My channel was created to help you to immerse yourselves to the Russian culture and the Russian language, to understand the native Russian speakers better, and to catch some language as well. Ivan Vasilyevich changes his job. Ivan Vasilyevich меняет профессию. This is an eternal Soviet blockbuster. It appeared in 1973. It was made by a very famous Russian film director, Gaidai. This is his surname. And I would say that the plot is pretty progressive. This time, I mean early 70s in Russia, in the Soviet Union, they were marked by the interest to the engineering and science fiction. But in fact, you might be interested to know that the story, the play the movie is based upon was written by Mikhail Bulgakov. Of course, you know him, yes? And it's not the 1980s. It is really far long before. The movie was made in 1973 by the Russian film director Alexander Gaidai, who was a very popular film director at the time, and we're going to see and discuss in my channel more of his movies because the Soviet culture is very connected. The plot of the movie is really progressive. A Soviet engineer whose name is Shurik, which is short for Alexander, creates the time machine. Can you imagine that? Because the Soviet engineers, they could create everything. After launching a man to the space, of course, a time machine seems to be a next step. Right. He creates the time machine and travels to the 16th century in the medieval Russia, in the times and in the place where Ivan Vasilyevich, Ivan the Terrible, the Tsar, the bloody dictator, was living. And there won't be spoilers, yes, but there are so many interesting adventures and situations which highlight the Soviet life. The Tsar swaps places with a simple Muscovite who looks identically like him, and they are played by the same actor, as you can understand. So the most of the comedy is based upon that. There is a lot of satire there, a lot of humor, very spicy for that time jokes. Back in the beginning of the 20th century, a genius, Bulgakov, created this play, which eventually became the basis of these Soviet classics. So what we're going to do today is to watch 3 episodes and to catch 3 very famous Russian quotes. They are broadly used by the Russians these days. Very often, we even don't understand, we're not aware of the fact where they come. It's important to mention that the 1970s was the time when the old Russian culture was romanticized, and there were very many songs, and even fashion reflects this interest to the ancient Russian culture. In the movie, you will see multiple examples of the architecture, of the fashion, of the clothes, of the furniture of this time. Somehow, the movie, which has no Christmas or New Year or even winter episodes at all, is loved to be watched by the Russian people on New Year Eve. Maybe it's my guess, because of the festive vibe. My younger son, who is 10 years old, he adores this movie. He just loves it. He knows it by heart, which of course is pleasant for me as his mother. That today I was actually struggling when picking the most exciting one. In fact, we will be watching one big episode cut into 3 pieces in order to catch 3 very famous quotations. You will see the 2 characters. One of them is actually a criminal, and the other is a simple Muscovite who had to swap places with the Tsar. They had to swap places with Tsar and his assistant, and they're wearing these costumes, and they're pretending to be the royal and the noble one, but in fact they are simple Soviet people, and here they attend the great feast, which was the lunch for the Tsar, which turned to be a real party. Maybe that's why, and from this episode, you will see the way the Russians like to celebrate any occasion, specifically New Year. And you will be able to understand the Russians and surprise the Russians when drinking and celebrating and attending a party with them. The first one, you will watch the episode, there will be the famous quote. After that, there will be pause, and I will explain the meaning of this expression. Let's enjoy.
Красота! Ну, царь! Вздрогнули!
Вздрогнули.
Miloslavsky is saying, "Ну, царь, вздрогнули." Literally, it means shiver. Yeah, shiver, вздрогнуть. But somehow, after this movie, вздрогнуть started to mean to have a drink, to have a shot, usually. Вздрогнули. So before drinking, instead of a toast, you can say вздрогнули.
Это сон какой-то.
Минуточку. За чей счет этот банкет? Кто оплачивать будет?
Во всяком случае, не мы. Федюнчик, а там что такое? Почки заячьи верченые, головы щучьи с чесноком, икра черная, красная, да, заморская икра. Баклажанная.
In this episode, the pretend Tsar is saying, минуточку, за чей счет этот банкет? Кто оплачивать будет? Who's going to pay for the party? He means it literally, but very often the Russian use this phrase «за чей счет этот банкет» in any other situation when they want to know, they want to make sure that they are not to be in charge of paying for something, okay?
Танцуют все!
And the final passage is a favorite. When the pretend Tsar says "танцуют все," everybody dance. And there is an amazing song which is called "Разговор с мечтой," the talk with a dream, which depicts the meeting of the character, the lyric character of the poem with his dream, with the woman he has been waiting for all his life. And it's very romantic, very nice, very vivid, and is enjoyed by everyone, and you just cannot help dancing. Танцуют все.
Танцуют все!
Вдруг, как в сказке, скрипнула дверь. Все мне ясно стало теперь. Столько лет я спорил с судьбой ради этой встречи с тобой. Нес я где-то плыл за моря, знаю, это было не зря. Все на свете было не зря, не напрасно было. Как в сказке скрипнула дверь, все мне ясно стало теперь. Столько лет я спорил с судьбой ради этой встречи с тобой. Вез я где-то плыл за моря, знаю, это было не зря. Все на свете было не зря, не напрасно было.
This movie has provided the material for quotes for multiple occasions. And I hope that today I was able just to scratch the surface, just to introduce you to the most famous quotations, to create the right vibe with my dress, to hope I look like a snake. And you will want to immerse yourself to the Russian culture more. You will want to watch the whole movie, and I will be more than happy if you follow me here and if you join my Telegram channel with texts and analysis provided. Thank you. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Было не зря, не напрасно было.